Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to what's happening around the league lately, you know that the AFC is heating up in a way we haven't seen in quite some time. But what's really catching everyone's eye right now is the bold move and the strategic shift that the Bills are making, and it involves some of the most exciting players and front office decisions we've seen in recent years. And honestly, it's a game changer, not only for the Bills but for the entire conference. So, let's dive into what's happening, what it means, and why Bills fans should be incredibly optimistic about the upcoming season. First, let's talk about the big shift in the Bills' defense. We all know that Buffalo's defense has been a stronghold for them, especially in their recent playoff runs. They've built a reputation for being tough, disciplined, and aggressive. But what's really exciting now is the addition of Max Crosby, a player who's been making waves with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, Crosby, the Raiders are rebuilding, right? Well, yes, the Raiders are in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially after a tough start to the season with a 1-5 record. They're clearly rebuilding after some missteps and a lot of roster changes, including the departure of key players and a focus on developing their young talent. But what's interesting here is the way the Raiders are handling Crosby, who's one of the most dominant edge rushers in the league today. Max Crosby, drafted in 2019 out of Eastern Michigan, has already proven himself as one of the league's elite pass rushers. He's a player who can change games with his relentless pressure on the quarterback, and his stats back that up. In 2024, Crosby was named an All-Pro and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He exploded into the 2025 season with numbers that truly stand out: 25 tackles solo, which ranks him among the top edge rushers in the league, and an incredible 6 sacks, putting him third in the NFL. But what really sets Crosby apart are the advanced metrics. His EPA per snap, which measures how much he impacts each play, is an elite +0.25. His PFF grade is at 92.3, second in the league, and he has a hurry rate of 19%, placing him in the top 4. When it comes to pressures, Crosby has a staggering 90, leading the league and making him a nightmare for offensive linemen. His win rate at the line is 24%, also among the best, and he faces double teams at a rate of 35%, which shows how much offenses are trying to neutralize him. And let's not forget Crosby's ability to get to the quarterback without overcommitting, allowing his team to contain the pocket and create chaos. His YAC allowed is only 16 yards per tackle, which emphasizes how effective he is in limiting yards after the catch. Now, think about this for a moment. The Raiders, despite their rebuilding efforts and their struggles this season, are choosing to move on from Crosby, freeing up cap space, around $15 million, to make other moves, particularly to invest in their offensive line with rookie picks. This is a strategic decision that's not just about the present but clearly about the future, and it's a gamble. Because, as we all know, Crosby's presence on the field is transformative. His explosiveness and ability to rush the passer at near elite levels can redefine a defense. But here's the kicker. For the Bills, this move is an absolute boon. Adding Crosby to their already potent pass rush could elevate the defense to a new level entirely. The projections are eye-opening. If Crosby stays healthy, the Bills could see an increase of around 14 sacks per season, taking their total from a solid number to a top-tier figure. Their PFF rush grade could rise from 83.2 to over 90, which is almost unheard of. Their win rate versus tackles could go up by 25%, and their sacks per game could jump from about 2.5 to over 4.0, placing them among the league's very best. And this is where things get even more intriguing. When you compare Crosby to other edge rushers in the league, it's clear he's not just a good player, he's a game changer. His pressure rate, his ability to win one-on-one matchups, and his consistency all point to a player capable of dominating in the postseason. His career totals of 75 sacks, and over 100 tackles for loss already put him in the conversation with some of the best at his position. His bend arc win percentage of around 70% showcases his ability to dip around the edge and turn the corner, and his EPA versus the run at 16 indicates he can also hold his ground against the run when needed. That versatility makes him a nightmare for offensive coordinators trying to scheme against him. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Bills are not just adding Crosby to bolster their defense, they're making a statement. They're positioning themselves as serious contenders for Super Bowl LXI. The odds are shifting in their favor. From being plus 1,500 underdogs to now just plus 600, the Bills are rising in the betting lines, and the AFC as a whole is recognizing their potential. The Chiefs remain the favorites, especially with Patrick Mahomes leading that squad, but Buffalo is not far behind. With Crosby wreaking havoc, their chances of making a deep playoff run increase exponentially. The projections even suggest a plus 25% increase in winning probability in potential rematches, especially in hostile environments like Orchard Park in the colder months, where the Bills have historically been tough to beat. And looking ahead to the playoffs, the impact of Crosby and the revamped defense could be monumental. For example, in key matchups against mobile quarterbacks like Mahomes, the Bills' defense, with Crosby leading the rush, could generate even more pressure, disrupting passing lanes and forcing turnovers. This kind of edge rush could be the difference maker in tight games that often come down to a single play or a critical sack. The Bills' defense, which has been top 10 in points allowed at just 19 points per game, could push even higher, making them one of the most feared units in the league come playoff time. And with the offensive side of the ball continuing to develop, with Josh Allen at the helm, who's been playing at a top 4 QBR level of 66. The Bills are setting up a blueprint for sustained success. Now, I want to highlight what this all really means in the grand scheme of things. The strategic move to acquire Crosby isn't just about a player or a single season. It's about shaping a legacy. The Bills' front office, led by their visionary management, is making a calculated push toward what many fans have dreamed of for years: consistent deep playoff runs and ultimately, a Super Bowl victory. This move echoes the kind of boldness we saw from teams like the Bears in their heyday with Khalil Mack, a duo that reduced opponents, rushing yards significantly, and created chaos up front. With Crosby added to the mix, the Bills could be on a similar trajectory, but with even more upside. And let's talk about the defense's ability to adapt and improve. With Oliver, who's already contributed 5 sacks in 2025, anchoring the interior line, and Crosby coming off the edge, the Bills can now look to reduce their run yards allowed from around 110 yards per game, which ranked around 15th in the league, down to about 80 yards. That kind of improvement would be huge, especially in playoff scenarios where every yard matters. Plus, the defensive EPA, which measures how well the defense performs relative to expectations, could see a boost of around 20%, turning the Bills into a more well-rounded, dominant unit. All of this culminates in a compelling narrative. The Bills are positioning themselves for greatness. Their odds to win the Super Bowl have plummeted from plus 1,500 to plus 600, and they're now seen as serious contenders in the AFC, trailing only the likes of the Chiefs. The addition of Crosby, combined with their already formidable defensive front, and the continued development of players like Oliver, creates a perfect storm for a deep postseason run. And with Josh Allen at the quarterback position, who's arguably in the top 4 in QBR, the Bills have a dual threat: a defense that's ferocious and an offense capable of putting up points in bunches. In conclusion, this move to bring Crosby into the fold, alongside their existing core, is not just a tactical decision, but a bold statement of intent. It's a signal to the league that Buffalo is not satisfied with just being good. They're aiming for immortality. The Raiders, on the other hand, seem to be embracing the tanking strategy, shedding assets and cap space, perhaps looking to rebuild for the future. But for Bills fans, this is a moment of excitement and anticipation. Crosby in blue, leading the charge on defense, could very well be the catalyst that propels Buffalo to the heights they've been chasing for years. The league is watching, and the AFC is about to get even more competitive. This isn't just speculation, it's a calculated move that could define the next era of Bills football. So, buckle up, because the season is shaping up to be one of the most thrilling in recent memory, and Buffalo is right at the center of it all. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters, so much to us and to the Buffalo Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news.